Jason Pantano, Black Mountain Endeavors, bringing you wooded mountain parcels made easier to understand, access, and build on. Today we're exploring the 11-acre East Lot here at Appalachian Springs. The East Lot has a practical combination of features we'll get into, and is perhaps the most versatile and buildable lot at this project, which is geared towards buyers that prioritize mountain living over proximity to retail. For those of you who've seen the previous tours of this project, the first segment titled "Where is this place?" will be familiar territory, and I recommend skipping ahead to the next chapter where we examine the access. Let's jump out and take a look around. Appalachian Springs is an hour drive northwest of Asheville, one of two ways. The more direct route via New Leicester Highway, Route 63, up and over Doggett Gap into Spring Creek, which flows north to the French Broad River through the town of Hot Springs. Your property is 35 minutes from downtown Hot Springs, a popular AT resupply town with some charming eateries and shops. And from here, you'd make your way over to Meadow Fork Road. Alternatively, coming from Interstate 40 via 209 closer to Waynesville, which is a 45-minute drive from your property, you'll love driving through Fines Creek and catching Max Patch Road. This route takes you onto 4 miles of state-maintained gravel through the woods until you turn onto Meadow Fork Road from the other direction. I can't decide which route is more scenic. I usually take one way coming and the other way going, but the gravel option is very well kept and tons of fun. Makes you feel like you're really out there. And you are. Check out this view from the top of Max Patch, a renowned bald along the Appalachian Trail. This is only 20 minutes from your doorstep. Any way you come, you'll arrive from Meadow Fork Road and pull into this private gravel lane, which is gated and locked between showings. There's no HOA or deeded restrictions here. You'll be one of 5 owners sharing this private lane, appropriate for all-wheel or four-wheel drive living. The access here already exists in a big way, unlike many vacant land options elsewhere. The East Lot is unique because much of its usable land is immediately accessible from the finished portion of the private road. There are multiple graded areas adjacent to Appalachian Springs Drive you can use for staging during construction, be they for equipment and materials or for camper living in the meantime. The private roadway is culverted and graveled up to what I consider the main entrance to the East Lot, closest to the primary build areas. I've labeled these areas Build Site A and B just for clarity during the tour, and I'll continue to explain why. This large, level former home site, marked as Build Site B, makes a convenient central parking area for showings. You'll have passed other level graded areas on your right when coming up the road, also former home or cabin sites, that could be staging, parking, or garden areas depending on your unique plans. You are traversing much of your western boundary once you enter off Meadow Fork Road and head uphill to the primary build areas. Everything to the right of the roadway is East Lot oriented, while everything to the left initially belongs to the 11.5-acre South Lot. Again, when visiting the property, I suggest parking at this level former home site and exploring on foot from here. We've opened the view shed from Build Site B, which looks south-southeast across to Rough Knob, standing at 4,500 feet in elevation, and Meadow Fork Mountain layered behind that. It's up to you, but I'm calling this Build Site B because there's another option a little farther into the parcel, still very accessible from the roadway, which provides even more privacy and is a simpler feed into the proposed septic field. More on that shortly. From what I'm calling Build Site A, you have more view potential, also to the south, but even deeper to the east toward Hat Mountain and Troublesome Gap. Whatever you want to make of it. Topographically, it's very much a mountain parcel. Your 2 primary build areas sit close to 3,600 feet in elevation, with the lowest level area just off the first curve in the private road at closer to 3,500 feet. As Appalachian Springs Drive curves right away from your western boundary, then curves left again farther up the mountain, we've allocated some territory to the left-hand side of the road for the east lot owner to maintain control of this smaller area, which has a couple of old logging roadbeds intersecting the private lane. We did this to maintain as much privacy between lots as possible, and so no other owner could build something adjacent to this section of roadway, nor access their uphill lot from this point. The previous owner maintained a rather large garden between the proposed build areas of the east lot, as you can see here. If you walk from the level parking area at Build Site B to the left of this former garden, you'll come around to an ideally situated home site labeled Build Site A. While the B site would make a feasible location for a detached garage, workshop, or studio space away from your residence, this private wooded area is better suited for a cabin build. When I split this acreage, I also preserved these secondary soil road beds, more hiking or ATV trails than anything, carved into the mountainside years ago, directly below this site. These trails function as an alternative access to your 952 feet of trout stream frontage at the base of your property. I've cleared them to an extent by hand so you can get a feel for what I'm talking about during a showing, but they create a loop of sorts with Meadow Fork Road and Appalachian Springs Drive. Whether you use them as such is up to you, but worth pointing out in a discussion of topography. Let's talk about utilities, one of the biggest variables when it comes to vacant land, often requiring easements and other parties' permission. A plus of this property is the presence of electric and fiber internet on site. This utility pole just off the B site hilltop, maintained by French Broad Electric, is located very close to your build area without impeding your view. You'd be able to run an underground trench from here over to your structure. In fact, we've already trenched once from this pole to a junction box at the northwest corner of your lot, which is shared by the lots further up the mountain. In doing that, and after tearing down an old cabin that used to be situated on this hillside shy of the main entrance, French Broad Electric asked us to grade them a reliable service truck staging area here. For you buyers who want a place to park an RV on site while building something on another part of your property, this level area might make a viable option for that purpose. We've also paid for a soil perc test performed by Land Resource Management, who confirmed septic suitability in the proposed build area for a 3-bedroom drip system. Specifically, the suitable area lies just below what I'm calling Build Site A for that reason. I offer owner's rep services after closing for anyone who wants ongoing support with their site development, but regardless, I would recommend you work with my soil scientist who would handle septic system design and permitting on your behalf. Money well spent, in my opinion. Spring water was used in the home here previously, but with the change in parcel layout and for long-term reliability, you should plan on drilling a well for water. Our vendor can obtain a well permit for you in conjunction with the septic permit process. So there you have it. I hope this guided tour is helpful for you in digesting this land for sale. I am available for follow-up questions and further discussion. Feel free to reach out. Until next time, I'm Jason Pantano, bringing you vacant land parcels more thoroughly explained.